It was a place of joy. Go away, airplane! Go away, airplane! Jesus Christ. Take two. It was a place of joy. Where the animatronics were like, hey kids, you wanna play? Even though there was no one because they were broke. And they were like, oh. Bonnie was still jamming his guitar to get better even though no one was here. Chica just stood there. Like there was no soul in here. And then the fox man was like, yar. Until this person came. The mask. The purple Merple man. And he was like, what are those animatronics? And he went to go check them out. He was walking. He was like, oh, my nose. And he was like, what's in this place? And then the robots were brand new, actually. They were not old at all. And they were like, why are they back here instead of on stage? So I checked around. Picked up Bonnie. Well, not picked up, like lifted in like this. He was like dead. They were like, why are they deactivated? This is weird. You're brand new. How you're deactivated? And then he moved over to this Fred boy. He was like, he's in good condition. Why are they back here? He was kind of suspicious about it. And then the chicken too. The chicken was brand new. She didn't move a muscle. You're like, what's this endoskeleton? They read the label and what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be another fox. You're like, oh, this is an unfinished fox and not a costume. So he was weirded out. And then none of them moved. For some reason. Freddy, go right. Yeah, none of them moved. Freddy was moving a little bit because he was in a weird position. And so he left. He was like, don't mind those blood splats. What the heck? What the heck? How are these guys on stage? Not the back room people. Something's going on. I must find out. I mean, the fox is fine because he's actually in the costume. So you went to check out the back room. There was these old models, but they weren't touched, and he was like, this company's weird. And so you found a weird looking guitar, a mask. He was like, why is this here? And another guitar. He was like, that's the one that Bonnie has right now. He was weirded out. He was questioning. And then he had an idea. If there's so many suits here, he can't get caught by killing 5 children. And so he had an idea. But in the back room, one of them moved. And it was Freddy. He was the one who turned on. And, we don't want that. He turned. He stand up. And he looked everywhere. And then his eyes became more glowy because he turned on. He was scanning everything. Scanning this person. He picked him up. He saw he was turned off. And he was like... And so he turned them on. and laid him on the floor. And then, can I fly? Thank you. And then, Mr. Bonnie turned on. You're like, and then his mouth opened even more. The only reason his jaw moved because he looked really weird looking like that. So he moved like that, and then eyelid was up. He was like, he was confused. And Freddy was like, Bonnie was like, they were trying to speak, but they could not speak. And then he understood Freddy because they're robots. Because Freddy heard the purple man that we got replaced even though we're new. But he cannot speak, he can only mumble. And Bonnie was angry. And so, what the heck? Okay, and then can I have a look at his glow eye? Thanks. And his eye glowed. And so now he was fully powered on. Freddy was gonna go get Chica. He couldn't activate Foxy because he was just a Bayerendo. So he activated Chica, and it went like. And of course she doesn't have any freaking. And then her eyes turned on. Don't wonder why they're all have blue eyes. Just don't. And then Chica turned on. And then they went outside. But when they tried to go outside, the door was locked. They were trying to open the door, but it was locked. They were like, it's no use. Bonnie finally spoke and said, it's no use. And laid back down. Waiting for himself to tire himself out and turned off. And what the heck? Freddy was like, Freddy didn't give up. And so he moved Chica out of the way. Bonk. He moved Freddy. Forcefully opened the door. He karate chopped it with his hand. And the door went. The door broke. And then Freddy was like, Freddy spoke for the first time. He's like, we're out. They were learning more and more. Bonnie was like, how'd you do it? They were brand new, so they didn't learn anything. Bonnie saw the camera. Told Freddy, was like, what's this? Freddy's like, turn it off. I don't trust it. So, and then he disabled it. He's like, mission accomplished. Chica was like, she got damaged a tiny bit because Freddy shoved her. Freddy was like, sorry. And then in here, awoken the puppet. She wasn't finished yet, but she still had power. Went outside. Looked over here and looked at them. They were like, intruder. You must kill it. Freddy was like, you're right. Let's kill it. And then all their eyes turned the evil ones. They all turned creepier than Freddy. But Freddy was still the leader of the pack. Puppet did not give up. He used his powers. These guys weren't doing anything, because they had no soul. They were just plain old robots. They were shut down for now. But the purple man noticed something broke. And it was like, what's over here? What the heck? He noticed nothing happened to the fox. Nothing happened over here. Then he looked in the other hallway. Then he saw them. He gasped. He's like, oh, what the heck? And so he rambunctiously went back here, noticing that he made his leg bleed because he was in shock so hard. He hit the wall so hard. He was peeking. Nobody saw him, but he was peeking. Freddy was moving towards as his gang was. It's Chica too. The puppet lifted up the hand, or her hand, and then forcefully deactivated Chica. Freddy was like, what happened? What? Then Chica was deactivated with those soulless eyes. He did the same thing with Bonnie. Bonnie, however, she got closer and deactivated. Freddy, like, why? We just wanted to be on stage. Yes, but your programming messed up. That's why you got sent to the background. So he used a quarter of her power on Freddy. Freddy was like, "Ruh!" And then Freddy got stopped. He laid her on the knees, or yeah, and disabled one of his eyes. And then he just kept him there. Put Bonnie back where he was. Chica back where she was. But she just left Freddy there. He forced him back in the room, and created a barrier. The puppet was disappointed, and so she went back in her room, waiting to be finished. So she forcefully laid down and deactivated herself until more problems were gonna come. Purple guy was like, what the heck just happened? The puppet has magical powers. So he went to the office. He wasn't not going into the room, because how he saw the animatronics' eyes and they were evil. So he just looked there. Freddy, just staring down there on what just happened. Purple guy was like, oh frick. Freddy turned over and thought he saw someone, but he didn't. And so he turned around and saw Bonnie He was furious, wanted to get out of here, and so he had a plan to break through the window instead. But it could not have been done because it was metal-proof glass. He had no other plan but just sit there and deactivate himself. He put Bonnie in his normal position. Kind of. Freddy was just sitting there, thinking on what he should do next. Of course, he was thinking about humans performing and such, but he could just not. He doesn't realize he's malfunctioning, but the humans and the puppet knows. Then he awoke. Fredbear. Looking at Spring Bonnie. Spring Bonnie couldn't move. He was dead. Fredbear was angry in his eyes, souls. He got out, looked around, saw the electronics, but he didn't notice them moving, and so they thought they were just statues. So he went to the security office, looked at the mask, and said nothing. He saw something coming. He looked at the window. He saw something. He was like, oh crap, God. And so he slowly moved over here. He couldn't get out or he'll make noise and get caught by them and Fredbear. And so he had an idea to put the chair in front of him, and hopefully he wasn't seen. Fredbear looked and didn't see anything. And so he went in. He went in to the office. And saw in the poster that those weren't the animatronics on stage. And Freddy heard something and turned around. Purple guy was like, God dang it, God dang it, God. He just had to pretend he was a statue. Freddy looked at Purple guy, but it didn't move, so he thought it was just a statue. And he looked at Fredbear. He was moving. And he turned around, looked at Freddy. He looked at not Freddy, but he looked at Prototype Freddy. They were staring at each other like they knew each other. Fredbear was like, he noticed Purple guy, but he wasn't moving, so he was a statue. Purple guy was really scared, breathing anxiously. And then he saw Freddy, but he didn't free him. He just left the office. He just left the office. When he left the office, he looked at Chica and Freddy. They weren't moving. He went to go check them out. Freddy was confused why he didn't free him. And Prototype Freddy just laid there until he figured out something to reactivate his friends. Then Purple Man was like, he breathed hard, thought he was gonna get caught. So he opened the door silently and closed it silently. Purple Guy was like, what if I wear this mask and they think I'm them? So he had a plan. He put on the mask. Came and then took off his hat, made his head smaller somehow, and he rolled it to the mask. Frick. And he realized it couldn't fit him. He was scared. And he thought his plan would work. But his head couldn't fit in here. And so he had another idea come to his head. He let go of the mask, walked through the hallway. But then Fredbear was in the dining room. Purple Man was like, come on, bro. He was just there. Then Fredbear turned around and went back to his closet. Just in time that Purple Man didn't get noticed by Fredbear. He thought something had moved. Then he checked in here. But then nothing was here. And so he went back to his closet. He was like, whew. He noticed something different. The mask had moved. He thought that the purple figure that he saw had moved the mask. Now he was curious and didn't go back to his closet with his friend. He was searching for the Purple Man. Purple Man was like, frick, I should have put it back where it was. Purple Man didn't check this room. Instead, he checked the Fox Man to see if he was there. So Purple Guy slowly walked to the office so he didn't make any sound. And then made it to the parts and service room without him noticing. Then he realized his bunny suit. It could be worn. He was going to it and went inside it. And so when he was inside it, he was kind of happy that it fit him. So he went outside, testing it if he wouldn't get harm. He went outside. looked at him. He looked at him back, but it didn't look the same with the eyes, so he was a little worried. Then he slowly came to him and tried to possess him. He tried to possess him, but it wouldn't work. And so he was curious. So he touched it in the stomach. He had a reaction. And he looked deeply into its head and saw a human inside it. And so Fredbear was getting angry and headbutted him, and he fell to the ground. And then the fox was activated because he felt motion. And then he was like, "Yar, me mateys, come to Pirate's Cove." Then he turned around and saw him beating him up. He was just a robot. It wasn't in his programming. But Foxy went haywire. Fell down to the ground. In his eye. He was getting haywire for some reason. Foxy was out of control. Looked at them, rushed to the bear, and tackled him. And then the spring lock happened. He was in pain. The fox looked at him. But the fox didn't understand. And so he stabbed the bear with his hook. Shing. And then Purple Dude fell to his doom. The fox was concerned, curious what happened to him. But the bear was still alive. Quickly tripped him. And the bear was fighting back. They were fighting. And the fox person lost. Looked at the other ones. He possessed Bonnie. Possessed Freddy. He possessed Chica. He possessed all three of them. Then he possessed Bonnie, Freddy, and Chica. And then the puppet woke up and sensed multiple dangers. So he had to do to take down the evil peoples. And he saw the animatronics go haywire. And he saw an unfamiliar face, or he saw a familiar face. Then he looked at Puppet, and he said, "Is that you, Fredbear?" Fredbear didn't respond, and saw a spring bodysuit on the ground, bleeding, and like it was in pain. It was bleeding. He slowly walked over to him. And then the fox grabbed him and hooked to the ground. The puppet was hurt. Then he used the magic on Foxy. Threw it at Fredbear. He got knocked out. Fredbear was knocked out. So was Foxy. Then the animatronics didn't get possessed because he lost control, but their souls they had no souls, so they went back to normal, just staying still, like everything was fine. Then Puppet was injured. He was looking at this bunny suit. He looked inside it, and he found a person in it. Then he was sad. Purple Man didn't do anything wrong but to survive. Then he died. And so the puppet brought him back to life, but only his soul, not his body. And so his soul went into the spring bunny suit. And he was alive. He was alive. But he thanked the puppet. He couldn't stand because he forgot how to. The puppet was like, just careful. And so he dealt with Fredbear. Picked him up with his own puppet magic. And then destroyed him for good. So, he put both of her puppet hands up and destroyed him for good. So he had a bullet hole in his head. She crushed the endoskeleton inside. So there was no endo head. He was malfunctioning. But he couldn't malfunction because he had no head. And so, now, he became a shadow. Then he looked at the puppet. He was confused. He was like, what? Then the puppet met his demise. With a powerful punch, threw him across the room. He looked at this person. He knew there was a person inside it, and he wanted to kill him for good. And the purple guy didn't let that happen. So he slapped him, punched him. He was trying to run away, but he forgot how to walk. He went to the puppet and then picked him up. Picked up the puppet and then when he picked up the puppet, he was running away with the puppet. unconscious. He took the puppet in here into the safe room. They were both exhausted. So he let go of her. And purple guy just stood there. Until she woke up. It was days later before the puppet incident. She still wasn't awake. He was still waiting. Then he rose. Nightmare rose. He was so angry. He was angrier than the Carolina Reaper, yeah. Then he fully possessed them once more. And he possessed them one more. Then he said, "Right." He was holding control of them. Bonnie let go of his guitar and let it fall. Chica let go of her cupcake and let it fall. Freddy did nothing. And so they were under his control. He was growing his own army now. And next time he sees that puppet and the spring dude, he's gonna meet their demise.